So hi, welcome to the Good Noise Podcast with Mikaila from yours truly. We're going to answer some questions today. I'm going to start. So what inspired you to create the band or the creation of the band, and what does the band name mean?
So I started Yours Truly when I was in high school, and I always just like wanted to be in a band, and I had played in previous bands like through like high school, and then I think that I was like, no, like this is like what I want to do like when I leave school. So I saw a video of our guitarist Teddy playing on Facebook, and I thought he just looked really cool, so I sent him a friend request. And and then he accepted, and then we started talking, and then he actually came up with the name Yours Truly. And I think he was in class one day. He reckons he was having a nap, and he woke up and he was like, "Let's call it Yours Truly." And then that's kind of like how it all came together.
Okay, I like
Wow.
that. Quick and simple.
That's wonderful. All right. So congrats on your upcoming release, Self-Care. How do you feel about the response to the album that you've shown it? How do you feel about the response to the album to the people you've shown it to so far?
So far it's been really positive, which is really cool. I think I've been so like anxious, like waiting to hear like what everyone has to say about it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm just excited for like everyone else to hear it now. It's only like 2 days away. So but like everyone, it's like everyone's saying like what we wanted, like everyone's getting what we were intending, and like it's translating the way that we wanted it to so far. So that makes me happy.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Gloria and I both got a chance to listen to it early and have nothing but positive things to say about it.
Oh
So,
yeah, definitely. It was amazing.
yeah.
Thank you.
So can you tell me a little bit about your writing process for this record and how it's changed from your first release to now?
Um, well, I think the difference between the first release and now is we have different people in the band. I mean, I wrote a lot of this album with our guitarist Lockie, who we spent a lot of time just like sitting like in like someone's room and just like playing something and then like singing over it and then like recording it and then seeing like like what it sounded like and being like, oh, like those parts are cool, we'll take that part. And
Hmm.
um and we also wrote a lot of songs on the album with our producer Stevie Knight. Well, we wrote with him the first time on Afterglow. So he was a big part of this album. So I think that like, yeah, I think working with different people kind of like, makes you learn, like, especially like writing with both of them on the Afterglow EP and then going into the album, I kind of knew how like they both worked, like writing wise, which
Yeah.
I think was really positive because it was less time of us wasting, like, do you like this? And it was like, I already know Stevie won't like that. So I'm not even gonna like, I'm not even gonna suggest it because I know that he won't like it.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think that was like the first time that like we sat down and we kind of just all like had the same mindset, which was really cool.
That's good. Yeah.
That's really cool.
That's
Yeah.
good.
So where was your headspace while creating that record, actually?
It was everywhere. Because we were writing the album over the whole of last year. And well, like, but even some songs, like Half of Me was written in 2018. So
Oh wow.
but that song, we didn't write that song for an album as such. It was just like a song that we wrote.
Hmm.
Um but like writing for the album, we wrote it in like 2019. It was like this year where like everything was really full on because we were touring heaps, and we had so much going on, and Afterglow had done so well, and we were like all over the world, and trying to write when we were so busy was so difficult.
Hmm.
And I found it kind of hard because we were enjoying all these firsts, like being in the States for the first time, being in the UK for the first time. It was really hard to like sit down and just focus on like writing when we were like, let's go here and let's eat this. And, like
Yeah.
it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Um, but in terms of like, like Headspace as well, like I think that because it was such you know, a full on year, I think that like it was the first year that like I kind of realized that I was struggling a little bit like with myself. And I think that it was like the first time I sat down, and because all these things were happening, if I felt strange about being happy because I was like, all these other things in my life are like not that hectic. And like I don't know, like should I be happy? Should I be sad? Like I really don't know. And that's what a lot of the album's about.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I
That
think
makes
it's
sense.
like it's crazy that you guys blew up off of like the EP alone. What was that like? Just like the explosion that happened.
It is honestly surreal because it doesn't like we look back and we're like that was 1 year, like and how quick that year went. And I think it blew up so quickly for us that it kind of just like it was almost like overwhelming of us being like, do we really like belong to be here?
Uh,
Like is it right that we're here playing these shows with these bands? Like it doesn't feel like it should be right.
yeah.
But like I think that the way that we are and the way that we've always been is like you get an opportunity and you run with it. Like you've been
Hmm.
given something and you got to make the most out of it. So I think it just like taught us to like work really hard.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Hmm.
So can you tell me what band or artist influences you think you can hear on this record?
And number one thing that I always tell people, and they're like, "Oh, really?" is Lainey. Like we were very inspired by Lainey, because that's
Oh,
all we listened to, like when we're in the States, like because we were there in like September, and that's all we listened to, like when we were like touring. And I think that like after just like having like this insane Lainey craze, and then going into like recording the album, it was like kind of like like melodic choices was like really inspired by that. As a band, we really love Basement, and that was another huge inspiration for us, like musically. So yeah, I think we like try to take like all of our like our favorite like bands that we like loved, and taking like bits and pieces of inspiration. But I'd say those two like are the biggest ones for us.
okay.
Okay. Taste. Right. So what made you choose the name Self Care? And is there any meaning behind the album art? Because it's like a heart, and then there are like arms hugging it, and then there are like plants coming out of it. I think it's so cool. So is there anything, is there a meaning behind it?
So with the artwork is we had the idea of the artwork before we even had the song like the album title.
Oh,
Oh,
Um, yeah, so the artwork, and I think that's also like a lot of where like the name stemmed from was because like just looking at the artwork, that's kind of like what it looks like to us.
hmm.
Um, so the artwork is that we really wanted it to be like because we felt like the album was like album's handmade, like like we put so much of our souls into this album that we really wanted to like convey that in the imagery. And so I remember I had this idea of like to make something feel handmade, it feels really homey. And I remember like going to my grandmother's house growing up, and she had like these little pillows being like home, and like
uh,
with flowers on them and stuff. And to me, like the look of that has always felt really homey to me. And so our friend who actually did the artwork for Afterglow, she had like taken up like embroidery and stuff like that. So
mm,
we were like, "Do you want to do like the artwork for this album?" And she was like, "Sure."
okay.
And so the whole concept of the album is like, like the album artwork is kind of like a heart hugging itself, but like flowers are like blooming out of the veins, and it's all got to do with like self growth,
Mm,
and and like taking care of yourself, but then like beautiful things growing out of struggle. And I
okay.
think it's kind of like when then we're like, oh, like let's call it self care because like it was like it was a huge therapy session for us writing this album. So that's kind of like how it all packages together.
That is the coolest thing. Wait, so that is actually like embroidered somewhere.
Yeah, so if yeah, in the Composure music video, Georgia, our friend, is actually sitting down and she's actually making it. And if you watch back, it's kind of like an Easter egg moment thing that like you can watch
Oh,
back and be like, oh,
that is so cool. Oh, okay. Wait. Yeah.
And
That's so cool.
now that you've described like explained the album artwork, the name and album artwork go very well together.
Yeah.
Like,
Like it's perfect.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are so smart.
Um,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah. Sorry.
uh,
Thank you.
so what song on this record took the longest to write, and what is your favorite?
The longest to write, I would say probably be Vivid Dream was the longest to write. Um, a Vivid Dream or Half of Me for different reasons. Half of Me we wrote in 2018, and it just went like we finished it in 2018, but it went through so many changes between 2018 and 2020. So, but Vivid Dream was like a song that we just could never write a chorus for. We like had the rest of the song. We're like, all right, this song's really cool, but we have no chorus. And I think that was like one of the last things that we wrote before we even went and recorded the album because it just took so long to get something that we liked. And favorite song?
Hmm.
For me, it's Siamese Souls, the first
Okay.
song.
Taste. Right. So, were there any songs cut off of this album, and will they ever see the light of day, like on an album or B-sides?
Yeah, there was one song that we didn't end up putting on the album that we like
Mhm.
recorded and everything like that. And because we just wanted to have 10 songs. So it was like, let's record these ones and then like pick.
Mhm.
And I remember the last two songs was out of Funeral Home and this other song. And then we ended up going with Funeral Home and ended up being a single, which I would like imagine with the other song.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know what we're gonna do with it. Like I would like to release it someday.
Mhm.
I just think that like it just didn't fit on the album. I feel like it would have fit on the album, but I feel like the way that it's like structured is that like it kind of flows. Like I like the way that it flows.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we'll get to release it down the track
Okay.
somewhere.
Okay.
Mhm.
A couple follow-up questions. Could that song that you mentioned be like a way to bridge the gap between this release and your next release?
Probably. I think the weird thing is that we don't know what we want to do next.
Okay,
That's fair.
fine.
That's
So
completely valid. Yeah.
I could just come. I don't think we'll ever completely switch it up, but I'd like to. I mean, especially with the way the world is, and we haven't been able to tour this year, and who knows when we're going to be able to tour again. It might be something good to put out when we start touring again, just to have more stuff coming out and new music. Where I feel like this year is really like elongated everyone's like album cycles, and I feel like people are going to be touring the albums that they release around now a lot longer than what they usually would have. So possibly, yeah, I would like everyone to hear it.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then you mentioned the flow of the record. How did you pick that to come together?
I think we had ideas of what we wanted to be like first, in the middle, and what we wanted to be last.
Oh, wow.
So we knew we wanted Siamese first. We knew we wanted Heart Sleeve last, and when we wrote Undersized, we're like, this is the perfect middle song.
Mhm.
So then I think it was just kind of like placing songs around those songs and like what felt right. And I think that I think we all agreed like when we like came up with like the track listing, we're like, yeah, like this is perfect. And we remember we all listened to it together and we're like, this flows nice. And we all wanted like the slow song at the end. And so I think that we just kind of like sat on it and we agreed, so that was good. If we all agreed, then it was the way to go and there was no issues.
That's good. All right.
That was good.
So is there a certain feeling you want your listeners to have while listening to this record?
I kind of just want it to feel like a super warm hug. Like I just want it, but at the same time, like I want it to be like, fun, and I want people to enjoy it. I want people to like, really feel it. But I want it to have like the real like feelsy like energy, but like I also want it to be like exciting. So yeah.
All right. So I want this question to be like super quick. All right. I want you to describe this album off the top of your head with 3 words. As fast as you can.
Fun, cathartic, and energetic.
Fun, cathartic, energetic. Okay. Wow, that's perfect.
That is
okay.
perfect. And
That's
that
very
is one of
good.
the fastest responses we've gotten to that question as well.
Yeah. Thank
Typically
you for
where it's
that.
like, you can't think about it, and then they think about it anyway.
Exactly.
So we keep bringing up the COVID and all that. What's it like releasing your debut record during this strange time?
It's kind of scary. Just because like we haven't ever done it before, like you said, it's a debut. So we kind of had like, first of all, like we didn't really know what we're doing in the first place. And then like now we have no one to really tell us how to navigate it because they also don't know what they're doing. And I just I think that I would have liked to have released. I think we pushed it towards the end of the year because we were hoping that it would be over by now. Or that we'd be getting there. But I just think that it's a weird time, and we could have held on to it until it was all over. But I would rather make some people happy or like give people something to listen to than kind of hold it for myself for my own personal, like for our own personal gain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Makes sense. So you guys actually had an opportunity to do an audio tree session. What was that like? How was that experience? Because that's crazy. Yeah.
It was so cool. Yeah, I didn't think that like stuff like that you just don't ever think you're going to get to do like so early in your career as well. And I remember it was like we had never been to the States before, and it was in like the first week of us being there.
Oh, wow.
And I remember we played a show, and then we played a show, where was it? Oh, I can't remember. Honestly, can't remember. That's really bad. We played a show, and then I remember overnight we drove to Chicago, and then we played Riot Fest in the morning. And then as soon as we finished Riot Fest, we went and we went and recorded Audio Tree. So we played like 3 sets in the course of like, I don't know,
Like 24 hours.
yeah, like and we hadn't slept. So
Yeah.
Audio
Oh my
Tree,
God.
I was like a zombie.
So after
Everyone
the audio tree, you passed out.
Honest, after Audio Tree, I was like asleep. I remember that, and I think that morning as well, we had tried. I think we got like 2 hours sleep, and we were like sleeping in like the van because we had like we had nowhere to stay or something like that. And I remember I was like, this is an adventure for sure. Like we have no real experience this. But I remember just like feeling so tired. But I remember like getting there and like the energy of being there and like being at Audio Tree and like having seen so many bands do Audio Tree sessions, just really like pepped us up and we're like, let's go. But it was so cool. And it was the first time we'd ever done a session like that as well. So I think we learned a lot. And then we ended up doing a session here for something here called Triple J, like a version. Mm-hmm. And going into that after doing Audio Tree was like, okay, like this isn't as scary as Audio Tree, because Audio Tree was kind of scary and it was live, which is even worse. Because if you stuff up, you can't just go back and be like, can I do that again? Like, which is the same as Triple J as well. But I think it like just taught us to be kind of like, just go with it, don't stress, just do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, wow, that's great. Just the night before set, you had a set, and then you had to drive to Chicago to then do a show, and then do Audio Tree right after that.
God damn.
Yeah, it was absolutely intense. I kind of like look back at it and I'm like, it was all a bit of a blur, and I drank a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's valid. That's one way to stay awake.
Wow.
So barring COVID allows this to happen, you guys are on Sad Summer for 2021. How did that opportunity come about?
Oh, I mean, we really, really, really wanted to do it. Like, we were just like, if there's one thing that we get to do, we want it to be Sad Summer. And then I remember getting the offer to do it, and then like seeing who else was in the lineup as well, and just being like, oh my God, this is huge. Mm-hmm. It didn't feel real. Like, and I love All Time Low. Like, I love All Time Low. So for me, this is like an absolute dream come true, So, yeah, I mean, I guess it was too good to be true. Didn't get to do it this year, but it will do it next year.
The lineup is too goddamn powerful. That's why COVID happened. That lineup is just too good. I have tickets to do 2 dates, and I'm like, wow, that's so much power right there. So,
power. So speaking of tours, the last tour you guys did was with Census Falls. How did that happen? What was that experience like?
That was like, it was like the best. It was, like I said, it was the first time we'd ever been to the States. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like, and I had been previously, but I had been to like LA and like Miami, and like, I had never really like, I got to go to all these cities. I think we played 37 shows, I think it was.
Oh, wow.
So like for us, it's like, I know for over there, like that's really normal, but like over here, it's like not. Like we got like 4 cities. I love that.
4 shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got like 4 major cities, and like that's pretty much. So I think it was a huge learning experience for us to get in a van and just drive all around a country that we had never been to before, and kind of just it's a wild country. Like I gotta say, like. It's nothing like it is here. And it was like, I mean, we've been to the UK, and the UK felt very much like home. Like it was a very similar culture. Mm-hmm. But like America was so much fun. I just want to go back. Like I had the best time, and everyone was so good on the tour. And to tour with bands like that, like with Hot Mulligan's Fail and stuff. Just watching like bands that have toured for so long, and especially like of lengths like that. I think it made us like a better band. Like it made us want to work harder. It made us want to look more professional, because these bands were so professional. And like, I just think it really kicked us into gear of being like, you need to be like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. That's very
Wait,
cool.
So you said like you had like a fun time. Do you have any like funny tour memories from that one tour? Like the 37 different live shows?
We've got some. I'm trying to think of something that's like, because I know there's like funny stories. I'm just trying to think of like what's the best one. I remember Riot Fest was so much fun. I think that was like the highlight for me. Mm-hmm. I remember Teddy going up and talking to someone from another band, but like not knowing like that they were in this band, and him like completely mistaking them for another person. And then we
Oh.
all like watched it happen. And
Uh-huh.
then once he figured out that like it wasn't that person, we all kind of were just like, and then he like looked at us and we looked at him, and it was just like, and we still just like roast him for it. Like we still tease him about it, and he hates it, but it's so funny.
Yeah.
Most of my stories, I remember playing. Okay, we were in Atlanta, and we had played this show, and we had bought like a baseball, like I don't like a bat. I think it's what you guys call it over there. In case I get it wrong. And then we bought like some balls and stuff like that. And I remember like after the show, we went and like to like load out, and there was all the security that was there at the end of the show, and they played baseball with us, and like a whole touring party, all the security guards outside the venue. And that was like, it was so much fun. It was like, oh, this is America. Hell yeah.
So wholesome though. Oh my god.
It was
That's
so
really cool.
wholesome.
Yeah.
So back to the record for a second. When live shows do come back, what 3 songs are you looking forward to playing off the record?
Ghost is really fun to play because we've like sat and played them all. Like we just, whenever we can, we sit just try to play them. So Ghost, Vivid Dreams, also really fun to play, and I'm excited to play Composure as well.
Okay.
They're like my 3.
Solid picks.
Solid. All right. So where do you see the band in the next 5 years?
I'm hoping we have like at least another 2 albums out. I'm hoping that that we have solidified a name for ourselves. That's definitely what we're trying to do, like with this album. And I'm hoping that we've toured the world a few more times, and that we're still doing what we're doing. And I had this conversation with our drummer Brad last night, and we were just like, where do we want to be like in 5-10 years? And it was like, we just hope that like we're still here, like we're still doing this. And I think that if we're still doing this and we're all friends and we're all enjoying what we're doing, and that's like all that I can ask for.
Yeah. All right. Very solid. So for the last couple questions, we're actually going to shift away from music and go straight to death row. So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Oh, it's a really good question. This is so hard because I love food. Probably a burrito. Yeah, a burrito and a drink, like a really nice spicy burrito.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And a drink. Yeah, and for the drink, we have these like at our 7-Eleven here, like I don't know, I'm pretty sure you guys would have it over there, but like like those like slushy machines, like the frozen drink machines, we have this one flavor here, and it's cranberry lime flavor.
Ooh.
Okay.
And it's just the best. It tastes exactly like your cranberry Red Bull.
Yeah.
It's exactly like cranberry Red Bull. It's like
my
the
God.
best thing ever. So those are my 2 things.
Wish they had
That sounds
that over
delicious.
here.
Yeah, oh my god. All right. So on a lighter note, away from death row, if you could live in one fiction world for a week, where would you live?
Sunset Valley from Sims 3.
Okay. Oh, taste. Oh my god. We haven't gotten The Sims yet. Thank you. Wonderful.
So yeah, that'd be cool. I can hang out with like, who do I hang out with? Who's a young adult in that world?
I can only think of the one, the rich ones, the old rich guy. I can't remember his name, but he's always like lurking around the parks. That's the only guy I remember from Sims.
Because I know like they're in like different time periods.
Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna say hang out with Bella Goth, but in Sims 3 she's a child.
Yeah.
But I know that like in The Sims 4 she's a young adult.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to think of the time periods between them. Like, yeah, no, who's the big guy? I think is it the Landgrabs? I think it's the old big guy walking around.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'll do that one because I think that's such a cute town in the game.
Oh, okay. That's very solid.
Yeah.
We've never, as Gloria said, we've
It
never
is.
gotten The Sims before. So
Yeah, thank you.
So I have the honor of asking the last question, and every single person we have spoken to has said it's the most important question. What is your favorite color?
Green.
Any specific shade?
Like dark, like emerald green.
Ooh,
I like
taste.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's good green.
Yeah.
So as I said, that's all the questions you have today. Is there anything you'd like to plug?
Just my album comes out on Friday, 18th. If you like it, great. Hope you do.
Hope
I'm
you
very
like it.
awkward. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Man, hope you like my music.
Hope you like it.
well,
if you don't, sorry.
Maybe next time.
So sad.
Well, thank you for sitting down with us. This has been Mikaila from yours truly and Really Good Noise Podcast.